Hello everyone and welcome back to another Brick History. I'm so glad you decided to join me for our final part in this historical series, looking back at the Star Wars story and how far Star Wars sets have come over the last 22-ish years of being released. In today's episode, we're going to be going through 2013 up through 2020. We won't be covering 2021 because that's the current year, so there haven't been a ton of sets that have come out yet, and I'd rather wait till the end of the year to cover those. So we're just going to be trying to go through as much as we can here. I've basically compiled a list of the sets that I think are most important to the development of the LEGO Star Wars brand, include cool minifigs, RUCS sets, or otherwise are famous or important sets to the Star Wars LEGO brand. We're going to be starting with set 10236, which is the Ewok Village. It's a UCS set with 1990 pieces. That's 1,999. 1,990, sorry. 17 minifigs, which include R2, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Chief Chirpa, Endor Rebel Commando Dark Tan Vest, Ewok Warrior, Han Solo with Pockets, Log Gray, Luke Skywalker Jedi Master on Endor, Endor Princess Leia, Scout Trooper, Stormtrooper, Teebo, Wicket, and 5 of these are unique to this set. So you really are getting a bang for your buck here in terms of the amount of minifigs. As for the set itself, I found it to be a very detailed display piece that could fit well on a shelf. It kind of depicts something which isn't too often depicted in LEGO sets. Like, I feel like you get a lot of the Death Star and a lot of, some of the more notable scenes in Star Wars, a lot of Darth Vader, a lot of ships, but it's kind of nice to see something like this pulled in. It's got lots of little alcoves and design work, and I really like the way the trees are built with all the slopes rather than just being a set of bricks going up. They've got all these slopes, all uneven and asymmetrical in order to try and give it a much more organic look. Which I think is super cool. After that, we have 10240, which is the Red 5 X-Wing Starfighter. This is another UCS with 1,559 pieces and one minifig, that minifig being R2. Modern-looking rendition of the X-Wing is what I've got to say for this. It's really nice to see these. I know I had just said that we get a lot of ships, but this one I think looks pretty cool. It's definitely a redesign. I feel like there's a lot less red than there are in other smaller versions. And all in all, it just gives a much more professional feel to this, with like the kind of aerodynamic shape of the body rather than being all boxy like a lot of the more play ones are. And of course this comes with the data card, which is always super cool to see, as those data cards really help make something look a lot more like a display and include some really cool information and background as well. And this is definitely a set that I would hang up or put on my desk or something like that. So I think it's super cool. And after that, we have a not UCS set, and not a very big set either. This is 75005, which is the Rancor Pit. And now the Rancor Pit is a pretty small set, coming in at only 380 pieces with only 4 minifigs. A Gamorrean Guard, Luke Skywalker in Jedi robe, Malakili, and a skeleton. 2 of these are unique to this set, and I would say that the reason why this made it onto the list is, once again, it's not something that you get to see very often. There is, I believe, a Rancor Pit in Jabba's palace, the set, but it's basically just a box. There really isn't any detail. I don't believe it includes a Rancor or Malakili, so you get here to see this in its own glory. And I think that's pretty cool. While I don't know if I'd put it on a shelf, it's not really a super cool display set. I do always like to make note of when LEGO branches out and doesn't release the same kind of, signature sets over and over again. Speaking of unique and not often depicted, up next we have a unique original content piece by LEGO. This is set 75018, Jek 14 Stealth Starfighter. Now, like I said, this is original content. I believe that this comes from one of the LEGO Star Wars shorts. And it includes 550 pieces and 4 minifigs, all of which are unique to this set. And those minifigs are R4GO, Bounty Hunter, Jek 14 with clone helmet, the Special Forces Clone Trooper. Now, I think this set is really cool because, once again, it's original. It's kind of like a black X-Wing, which I think looks really cool. And the minifigs are really detailed and well designed. And they retail for quite a bit because, like I said, this set is an original content, and so you can't find these minifigs in any other sets. And there aren't a ton of these sets, which is pretty cool. And I would say that this is something that I would purchase if it was cheaper. But it is nonetheless very cool. It features a cloned Sith created by Count Dooku. So there you go. You've got some background information on that. And up next is a set that I'm currently building. So this is set 75021, the Republic Gunship. This comes from Episode 2. It is 1,175 pieces, and it includes 7 minifigs. Those being Anakin Skywalker in his Padawan outfit, Clone Pilot, Clone Trooper Captain, Obi-Wan Kenobi with tousled hair, Padme Amidala, Geonosis Arena, and the Super Battle Droid. And the 4 of these minifigs are unique to this set. Now, something that I would like to note is several versions of this set seem to exist, as the set that I'm currently building has different stickers and a slightly different build on the slide doors that open up right there in the front, whereas on this set there are essentially 2 pieces. On the one that I have, it is just one long piece. So kind of interesting there. Also, mine includes different minifigs, but it is the same set number. So I'm a little confused about that, like how that happens, because at first I thought it was a re-release, but the re-releases have different numbers. So I'm a little confused about what's going on there. But yeah, just to be noted. But I'm covering this one in this episode. So after this, we have 75025, which is the Jedi Defender class cruiser. This is the Old Republic. I believe that this specifically comes from the MMO Star Wars, the Old Republic, based off of the way that the Sith Troopers are designed. So, yeah. This includes 927 pieces and 4 minifigs. The Jedi Consular, the Jedi Knight, the Sith Trooper, and the Sith Warrior. 3 of these are unique to this set. I always like seeing some of the extended universe stuff pulled into Lego. So these are super cool, and it comes with some original minifigs. So there you go. We're now jumping on to 2014, and first up we have something from Star Wars Rebels, set 75053, also known as the Ghost. The Ghost being the ship that the primary characters in Rebels, which is an animated series that takes place between Episode 3 and 4. This is the ship that the primary characters fly. There aren't a ton of Rebels sets, so it's nice to see some of them. I'll be covering a couple of them that I think are cool. So this set has 929 pieces and 4 minifigs. Harrison Dula, Kanan Jarrus, Stormtrooper, and Zeb Orrelios. 2 of these are unique to these sets. Unique to this set, sorry. So yeah, this is pretty cool that they have some of the Rebels stuff. Like I said, there weren't a ton released though, but we'll be covering a couple of them. Up next, we have a set that everyone should know, 75055, which is the Imperial Star Destroyer. While not as big as the UCS version, of course, this one comes in only at 1,359 pieces and 7 minifigures. Darth Vader with tan head, Imperial crew, Imperial Navy trooper, Imperial officer, mouse droid, and stormtrooper. It's not the largest release, but it's still pretty cool. And it's more detailed than some of the other small releases. I believe I have an earlier release of this somewhere, and I don't believe that it had any of the dark bluish gray highlighting that is done on the bridge and on the guns. So kind of nice to see that. And of course, like always, we get some refreshed minifigs when these come out. After that, we have possibly one of my favorite sets of all time, this being 75059, the Sandcrawler. Now, I own the other Sandcrawler as well. I own the other Sandcrawler. I do not own this Sandcrawler, although I do really want one, and this is something I will probably buy sometime this year, before the price increases even more. But it is a UCS, clocking in at 3,269 pieces with 14 minifigs. A green astromech droid R2D2, astromech droid R5D8, C3PO with printed legs and restraining bolt, Gonk droid, Jawa with straps, Jawa with gold badge, Luke Skywalker Tatooine, a mini Treadwell droid, Owen Lars, an R1 series droid, and the Treadwell droid again. So, well, a different version of the Treadwell droid. So 7 of these minifigs are unique to the set, and I think that this set is just so cool with how they did the studs. Like, it really makes this thing look worn out, and it is quite big too. So it's definitely something that will get comments. And I just like the sand crawlers in general. When I was a little kid, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I don't really know why. They're not actually that cool, but I don't know, it's just a little nostalgic thing. So I really like them. And this also does have an interior with lots of detail, which is always nice to see in these UCS sets. So highly recommend this. And we're going to be jumping on to 2015 now with set 75060. This being Slave 1. This is the UCS Slave 1 at 1,996 pieces and 5 minifigs. The Bespin Guard, Boba Fett printed arms and legs, Han Solo and Carbonite, Han Solo, Stormtrooper with printed legs, and 3 of these are unique to this set. The Boba Fett in this is super detailed, and it's really, really cool. Like, that minifig alone, it almost like doesn't look like Lego because of like the sheer amount of printing that they did on it, but I think it looks pretty cool. And something else that I really like about this is the slope work on the base, and kind of how they... I'm always impressed with these UCS sets about how they manage to make rounded surfaces, and this one does look pretty cool. So there you go on that. And I know that is a set that a lot of people want, but that's pretty much all I have to say on it. So we're going to jump to 75084, which is the Wookiee gunship. So the Wookiee gunship is on this list because it's something, once again, that isn't depicted too often. There was a Wookiee gunship included in another set quite a while ago, but this is the first time it's getting its own dedicated release, and it has been completely rehauled for basically a hang glider to this. It is in the Rebels line for some reason, I think because it includes Kanan Jarrus as a minifig, but it only has 570 pieces, 4 minifigs, 3 unique to the set, including Kanan Jarrus, Wookiee with printed arms, and Wolf Fuaro. The Wookiee, I believe, having 2 in this set. And it's a nice depiction of something that really isn't part of the core Star Wars media. So I really like it there. And the Wookiees have very nice printed details on them. And after this is a set that I do own and is really cool. I bought this on Bricklink, and I believe that I built it on a stream, one of the first streams a very long time ago, and I recommend you don't go and watch it because it's really old and really bad. But 75087, which is Anakin's custom Jedi Starfighter. This is from Legends, specifically Tartakovsky's original Clone Wars, which is why I love it, because I love those shorts. I think there's only about 40 minutes total, but they're just so cool, and his General Grievous is, in my opinion, better than any of the other General Grievouses, and George Lucas seems to agree on that point as well, so there you go. 370 pieces with 3 minifigs, 1 unique. So we have Anakin with combed hair, and then White Torso, Asajj Ventress, and Astromech Droid. And yeah, I mean, this set is just a very nice twist, and it comes from, I believe there's only 2 sets that come from the original Tartakovsky Clone Wars. You can find them on YouTube if you want to watch them. I highly recommend you go and do so. It'll only take less than an hour of your time, but still very cool. And up next, we have another set that I own that built on stream much more recently, 75093, the Death Star Final Duel. This comes from Episode 6 and has 724 pieces, 5 minifigs, 2 unique. This includes Vader with Type 2 helmet, Emperor Palpatine, Luke Skywalker, and Royal Guard with dark arms. This is a really cool display set. It looks great on a shelf, as I can say. It includes a unique Palpatine and Darth Vader, where the helmet opens up like at the end of Return of the Jedi, so the mouthpiece is like still there, which is super cool. But something I just like about this is that it's all forward facing, and it's got this kind of like sloping, well, not sloping, but like curvature to it, and then it also expands. So all those little pieces kind of come out, and there are little bridges that fold out to connect them. Which is super cool. Doors close and open, so it just looks great. And of course, the swivel chair does spin, so that gets a lot of bonus points as well. And now moving into 2016, we have set 75155, the Rebel U-Wing Fighter. This comes from Rogue One and includes 659 pieces and 5 minifigs, 4 of which are unique. This is Biston, Cassian Andor, Jyn Erso, Rebel Pilot, and Rebel Trooper. And the reason why it's on this list is because it's a very unique design for a starship. I don't really have a ton else to say about it, but I think it looks pretty cool. I have seen Rogue One, and I can't say that I specifically remember this, but that could just be because I saw it a long time ago. But I think that it looks pretty cool. It's got some nice white and blue contrast, which you'll see I bring up again later on, but really, really cool, and includes a bunch of minifigs, so yeah. And up next we have a set that I really want, 75157, Captain Rex's ATTE, which comes from Rebels, and it has 972 pieces, 5 minifigs, 4 of them unique, Old Captain Rex, Commander Gregor, Commander Wolf, 5th Brother, and Stormtrooper. And this is a really wacky looking build, and I like weird stuff, so this is really cool. But basically in the series, the main characters go and find some clone troopers that survived Order 66 and went into retirement, and they walk around on like this really weird old looking ship, old looking walker, and I think it's just really cool and nice to see one of these moments and some of my favorite characters rendered in Lego. So there we go. And moving on is 75159, the Death Star. And everyone should know this set. This is a huge set. It is obviously UCS, and it is 4,016 pieces with 27 minifigs, 9 of which are unique. So get ready for a pretty long list here. It takes up like a whole paragraph in my notes all on its own. So we have Blue Astromech Droid, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Vader, Death Star Droid, Death Star Trooper, Emperor Palpatine, Grand Moff Wilhuff Tarkin, Han Solo Stormtrooper outfit, Han Solo with vest, Imperial Gunner, Imperial Navy Officer, Interrogation Droid, Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, Luke Skywalker Tatooine, Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper outfit, Mouse Droid, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia, Royal Guard, and a Stormtrooper. So there you go. That's the whole list. This set is just cool. I have an earlier release of this, and it's just so cool because it has a really incredibly detailed little areas and coves depicting many of the most iconic scenes. So you're kind of getting, it's not just one time period, you're kind of getting the whole original trilogy, and this includes updated minifigs and parts versus the original version. So super cool here, and highly recommend if you can afford it, because it is not cheap. Moving on into 2017 here, we have another UCS ship, this being 75144, the Snowspeeder. So this is 1,703 pieces with 2 minifigs, 2 of which are unique. These are Snowspeeder Gunner Will Scotian and Snowspeeder Pilot Zev Seneska. And this is another UCS ship with a data card and outstanding brick and stud work. And I think that gives it a really nice detailed finish here. You really, once again, get some of that slopings. I really like the touches on the front, as well as the larger cabin. You can almost fit, well, you can fit the minifigs, but they almost look minifig scale, which is nice. And it comes with a data card, of course. Up next, we have another piece of original content, 75185, also known as Tracker 1. And this has 557 pieces and 4 minifigs. 2 are unique to this set. Emperor Palpatine, the Imperial Probe Droid, the Mock Hunter Droid, and Rawin. Now, this is another piece of original LEGO content. It includes a really cool Hunter Droid, which I think could be used in a lot of MOCs. If you look at that minifig, it's just got some incredible detail and looks super sinister. And like I said earlier, I always think it's super cool when LEGO adds their own things to established brands. The design of the ship with that 360 cockpit also really caught my eye. And I really like the three-wing kind of look to it. After that, we have 75186, the Arrowhead, which is another piece of original content. So this is 775 pieces, 5 minifigs, 3 of which are unique to the set. That includes Cordy, Quarry, and ROGR, which I think is supposed to be Roger, a Stormtrooper, and Xander. And this is a really cool and well-designed ship with lots of minifigs and a named B1 battle droid. It also includes Quarry, who is a character from Rebels, although he only appears in one episode and does not appear in any sets in Rebels. After that, we have the 75190 First Order Star Destroyer at 1,416 pieces with 7 minifigs, 3 of which are unique to the set. That includes BB-9E, First Order Medical Droid, First Order Officer, First Order Shuttle Pilot, First Order Stormtrooper Squad Leader, and Supreme Leader Smoke. This is a semi-large set depicting a pretty cool ship. I was a little disappointed that there isn't a UCS version of this. I feel like that's something that really could have been done, but I guess it's just too similar to the Super Star Destroyer and Executor to really deserve its own UCS, but nonetheless I think it would have been cool. And it does have a tiny little interior where minifigs can go, and that's really why I think it deserves a whole UCS. Is the interior has like 3 rooms and is super cramped, so I think a bigger version would have been much cooler. And of course, released during this year, we have 75192, the UCS Millennium Falcon. That's 7,541 pieces, 8 minifigs, 2 of which are unique. Those include BB-8, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Finn, Han Solo Old, Princess Leia, and Rey. And of course this had to be on the list. It is the pride and joy of many collectors and a definite wanted list item for many others. And this version merges both the original trilogy and sequel trilogy and includes an absolutely insane amount of detail work, also being just huge on its circumference and diameter. So it is one of the largest LEGO sets on market and is still massive. And I definitely want it. I want to mount it vertically somewhere, like on the wall. So this set is just so cool, and there's tons of like modifications online to add more of an interior. So really, really cool, and that's going to pull us off into our next year. In 2018, we start with 75181, the Y-Wing Starfighter, which is another UCS ship at 1,967 pieces with 2 minifigs, 2 of which are unique, so all of them. R2BHD and Dutch Vander. Like all UCS ships, this has just an impeccable level of detail, and it comes with a really nice data card and display stand. I feel like you could collect all of these ships and they would look really good together. Like, something I particularly like about this is like the back section, or the aft, or whatever it is, where you can kind of see all of those like lines and studs and all those kinds of things. I think that looks, really cool, and this is something that a lot of people would look at. And after that, we have 75212, the Kessel Run Millennium Falcon. This comes from Solo and has 1,414 pieces, 7 minifigs, 5 of which are unique. Chewbacca, Crossed Bandolier, DD-BD, Han Solo, Kessel Run Operation Droid, and Lando Calrissian Young, Kira, and Quay Tolsite. Now, I think that this is a really aesthetic looking set, and one that I want quite a bit. I had a chance to obtain one quite a while ago, but I never did, and I kind of regret that now. But it's really nice to see the Millennium Falcon younger, looking like the luxury cruiser that it is. And I think that this would look really nice next to the UCS Falcon, where you can kind of like have the big, run down one, and then the little brand new looking one right there. And I really like the white and blue. I just think that that's a good color scheme. And after that, we have 75222, Betrayal at Cloud City. This is a Master Builders series, not a UCS series, and it's 2,812 pieces, 21 minifigs, 7 which are unique. So get ready for another long list. R2-D2, Bespin Guard with slightly different printing, Boba Fett, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Cloud Car Pilot, Darth Vader, Han Solo and Carbonite, Han Solo White Shirt, IG-88, Lando Calrissian Cloud City outfit, Lobot, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Stormtrooper, and Ugnaught. Now, this is a really great set that reminds me of Death Star and the way that it's kind of laid out, the UCS Death Star, because it's got all these scenes from like the whole thing kind of all jumbled together and showing off all these little bits, which I think is just so cool. And it's a really nice refresh of the original Cloud City, which I know tons and tons of people want, and it's ridiculously expensive, that set. But this is a really nice re-release and touch-up. It includes Slave 1 as well as a little ship, which I think is cool. And once again, it just has all these little scenes, and you can see Luke and Darth Vader fighting over there. So just a great way that it's laid out. I'd totally buy this and like maybe put it under a glass table or something like that. I think that'd be a good spot for it. And now moving on into 2019, we have 75251, Darth Vader's Castle. This is from the comics, although Bricklink classifies it as miscellaneous. But it has 1,060 pieces, 6 pieces and 2 unique figs. Vader in Bacta Tank, Vader, Imperial Transport Pilot, Mouse Droid, and Royal Guard with dark arms. And it's really nice to see something from the comics make it in here. The Vader comics are absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend you pick up a Marvel Unlimited subscription and read them all if you're a fan of Star Wars. They are amazing. But this set has a fleshed out interior. However, I think that it suffers the same pitfalls as the Tower of Orthanc in Lord of the Rings, the Lego set, where it's only like half the set. It doesn't open up. It's just cut in half, and it's not really big enough. It's kind of the same, thing with that set, where there's like only a couple rooms, and I think that they could have just gone all out with this, and it would have looked way better. I feel like this could have made a bigger set, like the UCS. It could have been in the UCS line. Or maybe more likely a Master Builder than UCS, but I think they could have just done so much better with this and kind of dropped the ball. But still, it is nice to see something from the comics make it in here. After this, though, we do have a much bigger set. This is 75252, the Imperial Star Destroyer UCS version, at 4,784 pieces, with 2 minifigs, 2 of which are unique. The Imperial crew member with printed arms, Imperial officer. It's obviously a really cool set. The pictures don't do it justice, like the size of this thing. I originally thought that it looked kind of boring just because it's all gray, but I ended up seeing one, and it is hugely mind-blowing. It does not have as many pieces as some of the other UCS sets, but nonetheless, it still takes up its own shelf. It comes with a small TNT 5 and a data card, like all of the ship UCSs. So, I mean, you could easily make this like the star of a collection, I think. So, very cool. And after that, we have 2 sets from 2020 that I've selected. We have 75275, the A-Wing Starfighter, which is a UCS set at 1,673 pieces and 1 minifig. That's the Rebel A-Wing Pilot. This is a set I'm going to buy. Probably next. It's really cool detail work, just like all the ship sets, and I really want one of those. And of course, it comes with a snazzy data card, and the minifig almost fits in the cockpit. And I think this is just small enough to be like a desk ornament, and I kind of need something that I want to put on my desk, like behind my monitor, kind of. So I think that this would look really nice there. So I'm probably going to pick it up. And then after that is another set that I want, but I don't think I'm going to buy it in the near future, and that's 75290, the Mos Eisley Cantina. This is a Master Builder series, not a UCS, and it is 3,187 pieces with 21 minifigs, 9 of which are unique. R2-D2, Bith Musician, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Dr. Cornelius Evazan, Garandian, Greedo, Han Solo, Hershek Kalfas, Jawa, Kabe Labria, Luke Skywalker, Tatooine, Mama Nadan, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ponda Baba, Sand Trooper, and Sand Trooper Captain, as well as Wooher. And this is a phenomenally detailed set. It's got tons of pieces, an insane amount of interior design and minifigs. There's also a land speeder outside and lots of little detail bits to kind of float around it, and it opens up, which is something that I'd complained about several other things where they kind of just pick the interior or the exterior, but in this set it opens up so you can really see everything inside of it. I saw this on display at a Lego store, and it looks so cool. So it's definitely something I'll buy eventually, but it's also kind of expensive, so there are just other things that I kind of want to get first. But it's just so cool, and I have no idea where I'm going to put it. But that wraps up everything up to 2020. So we started back in 1999, and we have followed all the way through here, all the way up to 2020, and maybe there'll be a video for 2021 at the end of 2021, but there are just so many LEGO Star Wars sets where it kind of got out of hand. Like, originally I was going to cover every set, and then I had to shrink it down, and then I had to shrink it down again, and now we're here where I was kind of just picking favorites, because it just kept going on and on and on. Originally I was getting like 3 or 4 years in, but as the series went on, I was getting a year, almost less in, so it's just kind of crazy about how many of these sets there are, and there's a lot of things that I learned and saw, like all of the Toy Fair sets, which I think are super cool. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey, and I don't know when or if there'll be another Brick History in the future, maybe at the end of 2021 to sum up the Star Wars, but thank you for joining me along this journey, and keep a lookout for whatever comes next. If you enjoyed this series, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, do all that kind of stuff. If you really want to support the channel, check us out on Patreon. If you have any suggestions as to what you would like to see on Patreon, please join our Discord and take a look there, because we're trying to really make our Patreon much better. So if you have any suggestions, go join there, but join our Discord anyway, because there's an awesome fan base there who are more than happy to answer all your questions. Evan, Kyle, and I poke our heads in there quite a bit, and talk to everybody, so it's a really active community, and everyone there has lots of fun, tons of tips, people post lots of deals, so you can definitely find whatever it is that you're looking for there. But thank you, and I'll see you all in our next video. Goodbye.